G'day, I'm Robert Hagan, the artist from Down Under, and I'm here in the land of smiles. It's also the land of elephants. And this episode of A Splash of Colour is about, well, you guessed it, elephants, of course. See, the point is that this biggest land animal that we have on Earth is now in big, big trouble. And I want to find out what's happened and why this is so.
A splash of colour in the air, nature's palette everywhere. All this beauty we can share in our world. Catch the moment in your hand from every corner of this land. Breathe it in and understand in colour. We travel far, we travel wide. Desert, ocean, mountainside. Cover up the grey outline with a splash of colour, yeah.
I've been coming to Thailand for over 25 years now, and the country never ceases to amaze me, and as an artist, inspire me. Sure, I've seen a lot of changes in that time, inevitable changes that go hand in hand with an ever-changing technological world. But beneath all these 20th century trappings, there remains a Thailand of old. A Thailand rich in history and steeped in time-honoured tradition. This land of smiles, where traditional crafts are produced and skills practiced in ways that have been held for hundreds of years. A land of colour, of majestic elephants, bullock carts and misty hills, and semi-nomadic hill tribes, of golden temples and saffron-robed monks, where religion and prayer become a total way of being, and festivals are celebrated with music and the laughter of children. To me, the Kingdom of Thailand means freedom, adventure, and the exotic. Someone famous once said something about pausing in life for a moment to smell the flowers. Well, this is one very, very alluring flower I'm going to pause for. In fact, it's known as the flower of the north. Nestled for 700 years in the rolling foothills of the Himalayas and the longest continuously inhabited settlement in Thailand, and perhaps the prettiest in the kingdom, is Chang Mai. Originally capital of the thriving Lana Kingdom, it was established by King Mengray in 1296. He fortified the city with a wall, about a mile square, surrounded by a moat. The first European to set foot in Chang Mai was Englishman Ralph Fitch, whose experiences and information was to lay the foundations for the East India Company and the colonial empire of Great Britain. Situated in the wide fertile valley of the Ping River, it was a channel for trade from China and Burma to the Gulf of Siam. Its golden age ended in the 15th century, after battling the Ayutthaya Kingdom to the south and the Burmese Kingdom to the west. Today, it has become a popular tourist destination, not only for its many popular historical sites, but also for its cultural charm, attractions, and many activities. One of the great pleasures I get from my painting trips around the world is just searching for the right location, because that affords me the opportunity to take in the city or the countryside, soak up the atmosphere and really get a feeling for the place. And I find that very important, because you can't just paint cold. My painting is like a love affair. It needs time to develop and nourish, me on the one hand and these wonderful surroundings on the other. But take your time in finding the location you really want, because like a love affair, the wrong choice can prove disastrous. But I've come here to do a painting, and after 5 days in Thailand, I finally reached my destination, Chang Mai. Now it's time to decide where to paint. This is the right location because it's perfect for the subject I have in mind to paint. A powerful skyline, distant hills, some thick jungle, strong stands of trees. And here, below that, you've got this nice placid stream, just shuffling along, clipping here, clipping there against the edge of the bank, the rocks, and so on. Perfect. This is it. Well, I'm into this painting now, and it's going to be a beauty. Detail is important in the painting, but in a landscape like here, we need to get the effect of distance. That way we're being faithful to what our eye sees. And a bit of blue I put into the trees and hills makes that happen. Let me tell you something about me. See, I've always believed that things in life are generally self-correcting. When something happens too far to go this way, something causes things to come back and create equilibrium again. Well, that simple notion now no longer holds because of man himself. In the last 50 years, the world's population has doubled. And all these people want the same trappings of modern living. That means more resources have to be found. And the one to suffer the most has been the forest. In just 30 years, half of the world's original forest cover has gone. And Asia is the worst. 70% of the frontier forest has been burnt, cleared or cut down. Thailand has less than 5% of their original forest, and that just happens to be the home of the elephant. Just outside Pattaya is a camp owned by a mate of mine where I was lucky enough to see for myself just how close man is with the elephant. Thailand has been the home, domain and kingdom of the Asian elephant for thousands of years. With no predator other than man, it flourished and enjoyed the rich natural conditions of Southeast Asia. A special relationship between man and elephant evolved to the extent that there's absolute respect and reverence for the mighty elephant, where they are treated as something more complete than us, survivors of the time and of a world longer and more tumultuous than ours. They're embraced not as underlings, but something very unique, like us, fellow prisoners of Mother Earth with a special heritage. Somehow this biggest of beasts connects to its carer. It's as if by destiny it knows its survival depends on it. Whatever this bond is, it seems timeless and weird at the same time. The biggest and the brainiest coexisting as if there was no choice and no choice wished for. It's a challenge to understand this. But the elephant is like us in many ways. Puberty comes at 13 or 14. They have babies up to the age of 50 and live until 70 or more, and have a strong sense of family and death, and, more like us, have a distinct personality. They can be happy or sad, volatile or placid. On top of that, they have some things that we humans lack: incredible long-range infrasound, communicating in voices we never hear. For such a great body, their eyes are disproportionately small, but the folds about the eyes give them enormous expressiveness.
The elephant, they should know how big they are, but they don't know how heavy they are.
I mean, they've got real small eyes, and it puzzles me how they can see. They can't see where they are, surely.
But they can wide look. About 90 degrees, they can see very well. Example, you stand behind their leg, they see you, they kick. And not only that, the sense of knowledge, they have very good sense. Very good sense. Smelling, feeling, touching.
The elephant village was opened in 1973 as a sanctuary for former working elephants who, through reasons of injury or ill health, could no longer be used for the heavy logging work in the jungles of Thailand. The village is a safe haven where elephants live out their lives with dignity and freedom from fear. It has 35 elephants and employs over 100 staff to look after them. Every day features a 90-minute elephant show with visitors invited to get up close and personal with the gentle giant. Anthony, the MC, entertains with his wealth of interesting facts about the habits and life of the elephant. It was interesting to see the tourists climb on top of the elephants with such ease. When I tried, well, I found it wasn't that easy. 3. Got it. Right, I'm up. It is sort of very impressive up here. And I've got to say, I hope my driver can drive. There's no steering wheel here. As much as we were all having fun, there was one elephant who wasn't having much fun at all. See, male elephants have a type of menstrual period where they are so frayed they are downright dangerous. What's enjoyable about painting is seeing a painting grow, one stroke building on another, and slowly the painting comes to life. But back to our forest. You see, in previous centuries, the elephant roamed freely in large numbers across massive tracts of land in annual migrations throughout Burma, Laos, Thailand and Cambodia. But not now. Man has taken their space and their grazing land, and that has left the elephant marooned on islands of forest. They cannot mix freely, so they're forced to interbreed, and that results in genetic defects and finally extinction. This absolutely wonderful forest cover is original forest. It also happens to be the natural habitat of the elephant and another good mate of mine, the gibbon. Now, if ever you thought Tarzan was pretty handy through the trees, then take a look at my mate, the gibbon. He is without doubt the master at swinging from branch to branch, up to 50 feet if he really tries, and at 35 miles an hour. Now that's serious locomotion. Say hello to Uncle Bob. Hello. This, folks, is Mr. Gibbon. And Mr. Gibbon's doing what he does very naturally, and that's balance and swing through the trees. And this is his natural habitat. And he's as happy as Larry in here, but he won't be very happy if all these trees disappear. Because then it's the process of time, and it's inevitable that he will disappear. And it looks like he wants to drive my Land Rover. He's going straight for the steering wheel. He knows what he's going to do, looking at it with great intelligence. Well, what are you going to do in there now? We've got a perfect match here between superior engineering by man and Mother Nature's natural engineering in the creation of the gibbon. This is the Land Rover, and it made its majestic entrance into the motor world in 1948. Wherever there is wilderness, remoteness and rough terrain, you will find one of these at work. I'm told that 75% of those made after 1955 are still running. but I always had some trouble starting mine. Anyhow, I left Kun Pirate and headed north to Chang Mai. On the way, I got caught up in the middle of the Thai Songkran Festival. And if ever proof is needed of what fun a festival can be and what an elephant can do, then I certainly found that out. To the visitor, this festival is madness. People roam the streets with containers of water or water guns, or post themselves at the side of roads with a garden hose and drench each other and anyone else who happens to pass by. Foreigners love it. I suppose it's something they can't do back home. But to the Thais, it's a holiday period with significance. Originally, Songkran was a time to visit and pay respect to elders, including family members, friends and neighbours. It's a time for cleaning and renewal, for gently washing the many Buddha images in the home and at the temples. It's also the start of the Thai New Year, and resolutions are made like we make in the West. Wonder what resolutions these people made. I reckon some get forgotten in the mayhem of music, cheer and beer. What the heck? With this being the hottest time of the year, whoever worked out the timing got that part right. And the notion of water throwing? Well, don't mind that at all, even if it comes blasting from an elephant's trunk. Now that was an experience, I must say. And with that big blast of water from Jumbo's trunk, I'd have to make him an honourable member of the Fire Brigade. But back to this painting, and it is a painting to celebrate the elephant. But no matter how much the promise of a great big bunch of bananas, they refuse to stand still. So what did I do? I photographed them. That stopped them. And what great subjects they are. So now I can at last put them in the painting. And while I'm doing that, I want two questions answered. Why is this the land of the elephant? And what did they do to get on the national flag? Elephants are at the very centre of Thai culture, history and way of life. They are a feature of Buddhist art and architecture, a traditional symbol of royal power and a spiritual mentor for Thais from all walks of life. As a form of fighting machine of old Siam, a means of transport or a beast of burden, this magnificent, nimble and highly intelligent creature is centre stage for all Thailand and is flag until recent times. How important was the elephant, say 400 years ago, protecting Thailand?
First, that we know that in our history, we have our king use the elephant to helping the armed force, right?
Okay.
Like the tank at present time. So sometimes the king want to win the war just by dueling, and that making people say the elephant protect Thailand. So that making all the Thai love the elephant.
In past times, the power of the king was measured by the number of war elephants he had. It was common to have 20,000 trained and ready for battle. Apart from its scary size and deceptive speed, the elephant had two weapons, its trunk and its tusks. Of all the extraordinary features the elephant has, the most unique and astonishing and an absolute marvel of evolutionary engineering is the trunk. It's a nose, an arm, a hand, a voice, a straw, a hose and much more. It's the most versatile and useful appendage on the planet. It's a bundle of more than 150,000 internal and external muscles, and the finger-like tip on the end is the most sensitive tissue ever studied by scientists. Given that they have the largest nose in the world, it's not unusual then they have the best sense of smell of all animals. Notice the trunk is always waving around, testing the smells in the air, ready to warn of an approaching danger. spraying water is an important part of their general health and hygiene. They can blast it or fine spray it depending on what they have in mind to clean. Just as we use our arms and hands to show affection or discipline others, so does the elephant use the trunk. Touching, caressing, exploring and embracing is done with the trunk. But the tusk has long been of interest to man, much to the disdain of the elephant. Tusks are actually long, incisive teeth, and they never stop growing. And they are a formidable weapon against a hungry tiger or another elephant. They're used to help foraging, digging, stripping bark and moving things. But the tusk was both a blessing and a curse. A blessing because it gave the elephant his majestic position in the animal world, and it was also very useful. But a curse because man's greed for ivory led to the senseless slaughter of hundreds of thousands of elephants across Africa and Asia. But fortunately, the hunt for ivory in Asia has virtually ceased. But not long ago, there was another far more important reason to hunt the elephant in Asia. And it wasn't for ivory, nor as a fighting machine. In earlier years, they played an important part in Thailand's economy with their work in the logging industry, where their skill in moving and positioning heavy teak logs proved far more efficient than any mechanical means. It took 20 years for the mahoot to fully train an elephant in the industry, after which it would have a 35-year work career before being retired at about 55 years of age. In 1989, 15,000 elephants worked in the logging industry. That same year, a mudslide engulfed a village, killing just about everyone, and was seen linked to deforestation. The Thai government banned logging that moment to protect the dwindling national forests. Logging elephants were made redundant overnight, and most forced to be sold to do other work. Today there is less than 1,000 living naturally in the wild. Their domesticated cousins live as trick show entertainers for tourists who leave without any understanding of their plight. Sadly, the Asian elephant has been classified as an endangered species with a high risk of extinction. But hopefully all is not lost. Under royal patronage, the National Thai Elephant Conservation Centre, just outside Chang Mai, was established in 2002 to address the mounting problems of the changing role of the elephant in this rapidly increasing urbanised and industrialised environment. Like Kun Pairat's village, confiscated elephants from logging camps are repatriated into special reserves, and old or crippled elephants and even orphaned youngsters are given care at the elephant hospital. To raise money, the Conservation Centre elephants have gone into paper manufacturing. Well, not the elephants per se, but their dung is being used to make rather attractive sheets of A3. With a bit of traditional processing, water and sun, it converts into pretty good paper indeed. But it's the homestay program that's putting this place right on the map. Anyone interested in studying and experiencing the life of a mahoot can live and eat with the mahoot and participate in their daily activities. An unforgettable experience, no doubt, for anyone visiting this land of smiles.
I have been riding a little when I was younger because my family had some horses, but not much.
Okay.
And I'm kind of scared to ride alone on a horse, but on an elephant I'm totally safe.
Well, I mean, these are so much bigger than horses, though. I mean,
Yeah,
these are...
but they are more calm. Yeah, they don't do anything
Erratic,
suddenly. No,
yeah.
they don't.
So they're not flighty and they don't move quickly.
No,
and they're...
only if you tell them to, and that's fun. It's really fun when they run.
But the National Elephant Conservation Centre will have to sell many, many more of these homestays and truckloads of its elephant's dung paper to come even close to meeting the rising annual cost to fund this place. How much does it cost to run this centre every year?
About 60 million baht.
That's a lot of money. That's
Yes.
that's about $2 million US. How much of that comes from overseas assistance?
A little bit, 1 to 2%.
And yet the elephant is the biggest land animal in the world. Everyone loves the elephant, and yet
Just few
A
percent.
few percent only
Yes.
comes here to support them. For such a beloved creature that is adored by tens of millions across the globe, it's sad that its continued survival seems to rest almost entirely with the people of Thailand. If you had all the power in the world, what is one thing you would do now to help the elephant?
I found the land a real big land and no animal living. That is a place that I love to have all the elephants to stay
So
there.
if you had power,
If I have power.
you would take that big tract of land that still is there, original
Yes.
forest,
Yes.
and you would say that is the home for the elephant now. So what's the state of the elephant now? Sadly, it has been declared an endangered species. That's bad news for all. Elephants need large forest landscapes to live in and survive. And that has all but gone. What few are left in the wild are isolated in the fragments of forest which prevents migration, natural breeding and eventually extinction. The domestic elephants are decreasing. An elephant playing soccer may be entertaining, but if we take this to the logical end, we will have animals surviving on the basis of how well they can entertain us. And as for the ivory trade, well, it has to stop for the African elephant. But Japan, China and Vietnam continue to demand ivory. If ivory poaching continues, there won't be any elephants except in fenced areas with armed guards. Not a way to look after our smartest, largest and most human companion, is it? Kun Pairat, what can I do with my show to help you and the elephants here?
Find me the money
Get
to
you the
help
money.
me. Get the money, yes, and have the place that I have seen and take the 300 elephants to stay there.
Right, I'm going to do the best I can to make that happen.
Okay.
I'm going to do the best I can. I think that's the best way to go. And I will. Better sign this painting now, Robert Hagan. And a couple of dabs of water on the elephant's trunk for my mum. There you go, that looks pretty good. Now let's have a look how it looks with a frame on it. Okay, I'm very happy with that, and I'm sure the elephants will be happy too. I'll see you next time on A Splash of Colour. G'day.